Welcome back. It's Biz News, and we turn our attention now to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Well, Palestinian militant groups have declared an end to a ceasefire. This after the slaying of a top Hamas leader. For more, this report from Michael Holmes.
Death on the streets of Gaza City, an Israeli response to a suicide bombing just days earlier. The day had started with some promises from the spokesman for the Palestinian security chief, Mohammed Dahlan.
Eventually, the two groups, Hamas and Islamic Jihad, will have the choice either to exist as political parties, purely political parties, or disappear.
A promise to crack down. Zananiri said action would commence within a day or so against the military wings of Hamas and Islamic Jihad. Minutes later, Israeli missiles strike. We were barely half a mile away and arrived at the scene within minutes. 3, perhaps more missiles from Apache helicopters crashing into a white station wagon. Inside, a senior Hamas official, Ismail Abu Shanab. He and 2 bodyguards killed immediately in the burning wreck, their bodies charred beyond recognition. 12 bystanders injured, 2 critically, according to hospital spokesman. Abu Shanab, who received a master's degree in engineering from the University of Colorado, was seen more as a politician than a militant, a moderate in the context of Hamas politics, someone who helped negotiate the Hamas ceasefire. Israel argues there's no fundamental difference between members of Hamas's political and military wings. Both, they say, plan terror attacks on Israelis. At Shifa Hospital, where Abu Shanab's body was taken, crowds chanted slogans criticizing the Palestinian Prime Minister Mahmoud Abbas. Michael Holmes, CNN, Gaza City.
Washington is urging each side to honor the international roadmap to try to resolve the conflict. The US Secretary of State Colin Powell says the alternative could be disastrous after a week that some commentators say represents a setback to Washington's policy goals. From the White House, here's John King.
The president's ambitious plan to remake the Middle East is literally under attack. Fresh bombings in Iraq and Israel raising questions about both the administration's goals and its strategy. In Iraq, the bombing at the United Nations headquarters is bringing calls for more troops and fresh assertions that the Bush White House grossly underestimated the post-war security challenge. Defense Secretary Rumsfeld says those critics are wrong, and the commanding general in Iraq says more troops don't guarantee less terrorism.
We have over 1 million people under arms in the United States of America, and it didn't protect us from what happened on 9/11.
Yet the administration is looking for help. It won't cede military control to the United Nations, but wants a new Security Council resolution that would encourage other nations to offer troops to help.
We're looking forward to language that might call on member states to do more.
And this scene, Israeli troops on patrol in the Palestinian territories, underscores the other major Middle East challenge, somehow salvaging the Israeli-Palestinian peace process after Tuesday's deadly bus bombing in Jerusalem. Mr. Bush has heaped praise on Mahmoud Abbas, but administration officials say the Palestinian Prime Minister now must quickly prove he is prepared to crack down on Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and other militant groups. The war on terrorism is Mr. Bush's defining issue, a central theme as he raises money and gears up for re-election.
Terrorists declared war on the United States of America, and war is what they got.
Yet his approach is more and more under attack, mostly from Democrats, but even from some Republicans who suggest in some cases, like targeting terror groups in Syria and southern Lebanon, Mr. Bush is too timid.
The Bekaa Valley just beckons to us to go in there and drop a few bombs and see if we can get a few people out of the way.
John King, CNN, Washington.
You're watching Biz News, and coming up next, got mail or just got worms? The latest bug in cyberspace crashes computers worldwide. We'll tell you how to fight it after the break. Don't go away.